Hey cousins, welcome to Brown Liquor and Bad Ideas.
Welcome, cousins, to Brown Liquor and Bad Ideas. This is our third season, cousins. So I'm your host, Cornell Wright, the People's Lobbyist. Grab a quick one and join me because I need a drink. We're still talking about COVID-19. Brown Liquor and Bad Ideas is intended for the participation of responsible adults of legal drinking age who wish to engage in substantive virtual discussions and social drinking for entertainment purposes only. Brown Liquor and Bad Ideas does not advocate the abuse of alcoholic beverages. Choosing to participate in any of the drinking activities shared in the program should be made with moderation and caution and is the sole responsibility of the user. So cousins, for those who've been with me for a while, you know I've talked about COVID-19. I've talked about the importance of wearing the face mask. I've talked about those things will help keep who healthy? Us, okay? Because COVID had no way of determining who you were, where you were, tall, short, in between. It didn't care about your politics. It didn't care about what state you lived in. It didn't care about how much money you had, right? COVID got to everybody, infected everybody, and so many of us have passed away as a result of that. And by the way, I think too many of us passed away because there were certain decisions and communications that were wrong, and too many cousins died as a result of it. But that's another topic for another story. So cousins, at this point in time, we've all heard about over the years, and I've been saying it this past year and others, talking about getting to the point of herd immunity. According to the Mayo Clinic, herd immunity is when you have 70% of the population, the eligible population, either vaccinated or those folks who had incurred the disease and had incurred or developed natural antibodies to the disease. You with me, cousins? Okay. So, having said that, the Mayo Clinic also determined that at this point in time of July of 2021, let me have a quick one. About 31 million cousins in the United States of America have contracted COVID-19. 31 million people, cousins. That's almost 10% of the entire population, right? And we know that a number of them had very light cases, felt like a cold, no big problem. We know over 500,000 of them, cousins, at this point in time actually died as a result of COVID-19. Cousins, anything that's significant is not a hoax. It is real. I'm sure you all perhaps know someone who has had COVID-19, hopefully had a positive outcome, but even those, we know that there's that segment of that population called long haulers who had the disease for a longer period of time and perhaps had damage done to their bodies that can't or won't be determined for years in the future. Cousins, this was not something to play with. As a result, we were told by the CDC to have masks, right? Well, so guess what? Many of us had masks. Most of us had masks. There were mask mandates that were put in place. It was sporadic, who had it, who didn't. Remember, cousins, back last year, I said having masks in one state or one city or one town, not the other, is what? Like having a peeing section in a swimming pool? It's exactly, cousins, right? And we know that we did not get a chance to suppress COVID-19 in the United States of America because we didn't follow the science and what was prescribed. I don't know why, cousins. You can call a lot of different reasons, but cousins, that's what has me drinking today. We had a chance, cousins, to suppress it so we could get back to the life that we want to have outside with our friends, socializing, and most importantly, for the young cousins out there to be getting back to school with all that means for them. Lunches, socialization, learning, teachers' engagement, the care, and the structure and the growth that they get from being in person in classes. All right? But cousins, we didn't do that. Who's to blame? Us. All right? And so now, cousins, we have all the capabilities in place. In fact, we have, at this point in time, cousins, let me be clear. The only folks, in my opinion, who are exempt, from what I understand from looking at the CDC as well as the Mayo Clinic, are newborns. Granted, little baby cousins, they need everything to be as cool for them as possible. Those non-tested populations, as you notice, the testing of the COVID immunity has gone down in time, and now it's down to the point where I think 12-year-olds are now authorized, been tested enough in order to be vaccinated with the vaccines that are available to us, okay? I have a friend of mine who has a transplant. He can't get the vaccine. So for all those who are in those positions, I'm sorry for your cousins, you get an exempt. And to that population, we need to be concerned about them. As well as any of the cousins out there with other immune-bearing diseases or concerns, we need to be concerned about them. So when you think about wearing your mask now, it's not about you. You may never have been impacted by COVID. But here's the thing. COVID is not like a tornado. I was visiting relatives recently, and we had a tornado warning. You don't know where the tornado is going to go. You could be on one side of the street, and you're fine. On the other side of the street, your neighbor's house and property is torn up. COVID-19 is very similar to a tornado. You get the COVID-19, you may be fine. I get it, and I may be on a respirator. You see what I'm saying, cousins? It's just that simple, and nobody knows, and you can't predict who's going to have it, who isn't. So as a result of that, cousins, here's the information. Now, you all, some of you are going to be saying, but Cousin Cornell, the CDC came out and said that we're all good. No, the person in charge of CDC did not say we're all good. What she said was, and you go back and listen to her comments, all those who have been fully vaccinated can return to normal engagement. You with me, cousins? Fully vaccinated cousins. So here's the latest sheet coming from the CDC, okay? So notice this, cousins. If you are being fully vaccinated, which is on this side of the page, everything you want to do outdoors and indoors is good. Want to go to concerts, you want to go to movies, you want to whatever. If you're not been fully vaccinated, look at this, cousins. There's some green arrows, there's some yellow, and there's still red out there. You with me, cousins? Green if you've been totally vaccinated. Come on now. A little bit of green up here if you've not been, and then yellow and red for the others. So I heard a report, cousins, that said that about, give or take, Vermont, I think, was leading the nation. So like 83% of the population, eligible population, has been vaccinated. You determine from your town and your county, and by the way, I put a link on the descriptions to a New York Times document that will show you on the national average and by county where your county is in regards to COVID, regards to diseases, regards to vaccinations, the whole 9 yards. All the information you need to make an informed decision. The informed decision, cousins, I'm suggesting is get the vaccine. I've had the vaccine, all right? All of our elected officials, except for some of those in Congress, we know who they are, they're ones not want to do it, have had the vaccine. The current president and the former president all have the vaccines. Why would we want to have the vaccines on the leaders of our nation, both current and former, if it's not good for us? And then we're not concerned about their health. Come on, cousins, you know that's true. So as a result of that, start looking at this, because here's the exposure, cousins. We have a chance to nail down the COVID-19 and get to the point that we can prevent it from spreading in the United States any further. We can suppress it. There are still too many cousins passing away every day, or every week rather, across the country from COVID-19. We can stop that. So at this point in time, if you're not helping to make this happen by one, continuing to wear your mask, because guess what, cousins? We don't know who's had the vaccine or not, right? As an example, I know a friend of mine who just had a chance to go to a concert recently. The performer in the concert required that everybody in the auditorium to have a COVID-19 test before they were allowed to come in. Think about that. So there was an opportunity to have a rapid COVID test. Everybody got vaccinated, got tested before they went in, because the performer wanted to make sure that, one, everybody was going to be okay now that they were back to, I think, nearly full capacity, and that the performer was going to be okay. Cousins, if everybody just went and got the vaccine as identified here, we wouldn't have to worry about this. Are we supposed to be leading the world? We're not supposed to be leading the world in number of cases of COVID-19 or in regards to the inaccuracies we made in regards to managing it. We've had all the information in a timely fashion. We did not act upon it correctly, and as a result of it, too many cousins have died and have gotten sick and going to be carrying that forward. Cousin, it makes me want to have a drink. So, with that, cousins, please continue to maintain all the protocols. Wear a mask if you don't know the people you're around. If you've been vaccinated, hey, you're on the green side, call me. Let's get together and let's have one. If you're not vaccinated, this is real clear, cousins. All right? Please get vaccinated so you can move over to this side, because we're going to work through the summer. We want to get the kids back in school. We want to get back to having football and other things we want to have happen. All right? Cousins, this is Cornell Wright saying thank you for joining me. Welcome to the next season of Brown Liquor and Bad Ideas. Wear your mask if necessary, because if I don't know you, I'm still going to wear this, because I want to see you on the green side and not on the others. Thank you, cousins. Take care. We'll see you next week on Brown Liquor and Bad Ideas. Cousins, I forgot something. In middle of June, it will be our first full calendar year and the beginning of our third season. I've often asked you to become more involved with political activities and more involved with how our country works, because we are the people. But cousins, I need you also to ask you to help me now, because we need to grow our subscribers. So go out and talk to 3 of your friends, have them subscribe, and then we can get to a magic number of 250 by our first annual anniversary. Can you do that for me, cousins? All right, thanks a lot, and you take care of yourselves.
We are the people.